Indeed, warnings of recession. The economy grew slightly in November, boosted by money that people were spending in pubs and restaurants during the World Cup. Data from the Office for National Statistics showed the UK economy grew by 0.1% in November. Now, that was better than the prediction from analysts who thought that the economy would shrink by 0.2%. Well, Sky's economics and data editor Ed Conway has all the latest for us now.
It's surprisingly good news, really. And when I say surprising, I mean most economists had expected that it was going to be down by 0.2%. And if that had been the case, then many of those forecasts we've had from everyone from the Bank of England to the Office for Budget Responsibility that we were heading for a recession, or rather already in recession. Because remember, we had a quarter of contraction. So what we're talking about here is gross domestic product, how much the economy is increasing its income each month or indeed quarter. And back in the last quarter that we have data for, in Q3, the economy shrank. If we have another quarter of contraction, then technically we will be in recession. And what's interesting about this is not only were these numbers better than economists had expected, but if you look at December, which is the 1 month we have left for the data to come out in that last quarter of the year, you'd have to have quite a big fall in economic growth in gross domestic product to see that overall number go down into negative territory. So, you know, at the moment, it looks quite plausible that we're not in recession. That obviously casts some doubt on what economists have been saying for quite some time. But it's worth also taking a step back. I don't want to put too much of a downer on it, but these numbers are not exactly an economy that's tearing away. It's more like an economy that's basically flatlining and has been flatlining for quite some time. And when you look at what most of those economists were forecasting, they weren't talking about a massive collapse. They were talking about basically things being flat. And we are essentially flat at the moment. But it's better news than many people had expected and comes alongside other bits of positive news. We've had some good news out of various different companies with their profits updates over the course of the last week. And the FTSE 100, the stock market has been racing away over the course of the last few days and indeed the last few weeks. So there is a little bit of optimism at the moment, and partly it derives from the fact that things, when it comes to energy, aren't quite as bad as they looked a little while ago. Might not prevent it from being painful in the next few months, but maybe not quite as bad as some people had expected.